Okay. Welcome back to Harem and the Labyrinth Anime Review, episode number 3. Reviewing the third episode of the series, Acquisition. This, from what I can tell, if I remember reading from the first book of the light novel series, this pretty much in a way kind of finished the book itself. The episode mostly has our lead of the series, and it's been a bit since I actually watched the series. I'm sorry about this. Okay. Koga. Okay. Where he is still trying away to buy Roxanne. So he decides basically he's going to deal with bandits. Not go through the labyrinth. The labyrinth is briefly seen in the episode. But it's not actually, he doesn't do anything in the labyrinth, like just there. So basically he's going after bandits. He's basically exploring the city a bit. Then he is exploring the slums, which apparently he can't stand the smell. Now, this is actually one of a few anime I come across where they explore the slums. Now, in the series How Relative with the Kingdom, the Sasotama actually took a time to clean up the slums, make it a lot more pleasable. All the smell, buildings a lot more nicer, look a little more like a pleasant place to live in. Unlike here, where probably the kingdom is set in probably doesn't give a damn. So he leaves, comes back at night, and he's looking for bandits. And he does find them. And he listens to one of them mention the word named Hugo, a character who Koga killed back in the pilot episode, just 2 episodes ago. He just happens to have the thief's bandana. So he goes back there. Of course, he was asking about a guy about the. Apparently, there was a succession battle. Of course, the guy who he killed, he lost. So, Sugar Village. Me. So, he ends up basically going back, but this time he talks to the lookout who actually mentioned the name Hugo, and he shows off the thief's bandana, and he brings to his room like supposed to give money to buy the damn thing. And it looks like, he thinks he thinks the small sword he has. He thinks that's the only weapon he's got. He probably kill him very easily. Nope. He ends up killing him pretty quietly, leaving blood on the floor. And he also takes time to cut off the guy's hand, just to get his intelligence card. Then he proceeds to quietly kill at least a few people. First, he kills a guy who's sleeping, and he's apparently butt naked. So it's presumably he's probably just finished having sex. Yeah, because we have characters walking around completely naked. So, kills the first guy by simply putting a cloth over his face and slitting this guy's throat. Kills the woman in his bed by slitting her throat too. And then a naked woman, walks up. By the way, she's censored. They censor her breast and her private part. And he proceeds to cut off her head. Now, the thing is, why in the world is there a naked woman there? Because she already had sex. She was sleeping. She was woken up by, something. And then there's this big chubby guy who basically comes after them. And then, of course, Hugo teleports out, kills him pretty quickly, takes his hand, and then he proceeds to leave. Takes her ID cards, leaves probably the hands for the animals to eat. Then he proceeds to take the ID cards to a night station. Basically, the same night station he went to, also in I believe it was the first episode. Yeah, basically the main revisits the first episode. So, then he proceeds to auction the ID cards. Apparently 2 have bounties, and the third one didn't. Do not know why, he just didn't have a bounty on him. So, then of course he has the money to buy Roxanne, which he does. Now, in the book, basically what happens is a bit unusual. They cut the next section out, probably just speed listed on, probably because we're running out of time. So when he got there, we actually had where the slave trader, where I believe his name is Alan, where he proceeds to show up other ladies, beauties. Then he basically brings in Roxanne. This after the purchase is made. In the show, they cut the bit out, probably because it was a bit unnecessary. So then he proceeds to buy Roxanne, and by the way, her outfit she wears, where it's kind of like a green top off the shoulders, a little bit of the belly, a little bit navel, brown pants. Yeah, that's the same outfit she wears in the open title sequence. So they show intelligence cards, show the contract up. Now, as with the details of the contract are, aside from the fact that she is practically a slave, nothing much is known. Though, by the way, there's actually a brief scene where he's fantasized about her, and the anime proceeds to censor different censor what they use for the blackness to cover the naked woman, where they basically put, like, nudity not available because he's fantasizing about it. Then, of course, after he purchased Roxanne, then, of course, you realize that the slave trader is not a con man. Oh, don't worry, he will come back to the slave trader in book 3. Yes, and with that, that's the end of the episode. It's a pretty good episode. It does wrap up the first book pretty well. As for what they cut, mostly some small stuff here and there. You could say some side stuff they cut, and the unnecessary scene of the addition of women. But that could have been a tease for something they could explore a little bit later. Now, here's the thing: I do not know how long the season is going to be. This is one of those shows I do not know the length. I'm thinking it might be 3 episodes. It is possible. I don't know. But it all depends upon the book itself, but when it comes to the anime. So 3 episodes so far, and they covered the first book. Okay, so they still have more books to go. How far do I think the season will cover? My guess, if they cover 3 books per episode. Well, here's the thing: the first book is, well, for the translation I read, 318 pages. Yep, and these books are quite lengthy. There's lots that happens. So you can kind of think of the first book is basically all about getting Roxanne, and then the next book is all about him being with Roxanne, and book 3 gets New Slave, which we'll get to that whenever the anime covers that. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Cyclo Review. I'm going to go ahead and do Revolution next when I put the video up, and I'll see you all there. Bye.